people start being too loud in my apartment, I'll definitely hit up, or my house, I'll hit up either Zorath or Necrid for commentation. William starts off strong.
Always nice getting first blood. You feel strong, you feel confident, your game plan's working.
Matchup-wise, I prefer this from the Ayla side. I mean, both these players are going to really maintain neutral, and it's going to come down to some key interactions. It's just that sometimes the Obi-Wan will get that key interaction, but Ayla will stay standing, whereas it's very rare for the opposite to be true. At a very high level, if both players are playing very safe, the main difference here is that the Obi dash roll is a little bit better. Obi has Calm, slightly better Null if he chooses to go for it, but that's going to be high risk if the other player's reacting fast.
If Ayla wins that high key moment, that famous dash attack, you don't quite get the survival rates you do after you eat an Obi-Wan dash.
Yeah, true. Mike going for backslash punishes, that is what we would want to see for like optimal chance of succeeding the punish. You'll also often see this from William in matches, is that he'll go up onto buildings and just kind of either stall the opponent out or see if they do something stupid. It's a very common tactic from him.
Good old loiter and wait.
The reason backslash is so good as a punish against Ayla riposte, and I'd like to see it more, is that, for more people, is that it really kind of counteracts the whole problem people have with riposte, right? If you see a riposte and you are going to dash attack punish it as OB, you're not really going to get a lot unless you hit the end of your dash attack. Oh, great aerial. Whereas, you know, because it has 0 end lag in terms of the frame data, so going to try to combo it out of the question. So backslash is the only thing that will really like pick them up, capture them, secure the kill reliably. Good aerial.
Good aerials going around, coming around.
Who do you prefer in this matchup, Xadrian?
I definitely am with you in preferring the Ayla and then Ayla versus Obi.
I don't know many people who prefer the Obi here. Zorath might be one of those weirdos who are among them, but fake aerials.
The thing about it is, not many key moments happen in like a proper skills equal perspective, and Ayla only usually needs to win one. And Obi-Wan sometimes only needs one.
True. Zorath says hell no in the chat as far as preference here, so he does not prefer Obi-Wan. I don't know, we're going to have to see some really solid intercepts from Mike if he wants to get dash attack as his sort of successful game plan. Or he's just going to have to win more engagements. He got what he wanted.
Twice now, both of his kills came from good aerials. I wonder if we're seeing his tool for success.
Tries to get an intercept there again, but William has CD when he goes for it. Oh, good anti-fall roll. Tries to get the backslash off, but William, if you notice there, the animation did not come out for the Ayla dash attack. What that means is that it was a perfect dash attack. If you execute it like quickly enough.
Frame 0, basically.
Yeah, if you execute it super fast, you'll basically not leave the animation of the end lag of the dash land. So that just means that William's mechanical execution there was pristine.
Good execution again, trapping him again with that dash. Sort of reinforcing our opinion of the matchup.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, it's simply that Mike isn't actually winning hardly any engagements too. It's not something where it's like Mike is winning engagements, but then Ayla's just living. It's that...
He's just straight up on the losing side of the engagements in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
Caught William twice with tricks, but... William's definitely throwing, yet again, a stronger core.
Yeah, I mean, Williams' punishes on the map are, I mean, they speak for themselves. You see him there, you think that you're safe to land on the tarp just over the lip, but he's on the lip ready to go for the punish. And that time, unfortunately, his map play not panning out. That damage on Mike doesn't matter too much. it will mean that Mike is one hit for an aerial. Most likely. Depends on if the riposte or one of the main hits connected.
A really good backslash there.
Aerial, actually.
Oh, was that an aerial?
Yeah,
Look
he
at
did
the
a...
backslash from the angle I saw.
He jumped off and really quick aerial intercepting him in the air.
Excellent, then. Even Williams impressed.
It looked like it was just really... I like the response from Mike. Williams asking him if it was planned, and Mike just responds, maybe.
That's the only true response of a gentleman duelist.
My favorite thing is to just not respond.
Oh, but that's no fun.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. It seems like Mike's main success here has been the aerials catching movement, and then similarly, William has just been catching a lot of the movement and choices from Mike, so... It's less of kind of just like a conventional attack counterpuncher or CD clash situation, and more just a very, very good roll from Mike, spacing perfectly into the backslash punish.
Mike was really trying to bait out that dash attack with the faked dash attack off the edge, and he did get it. It got a little messy, but it paid off. That's his first non-aerial real good strike he's had of the game. Everything else has been something in the air. Curious, he had the angle for CD, did he just not want to dash?
I think he was worried that Will would just anti-fall it and then kill him.
Good point.
Because one thing is that if the Ayla's already facing the way you want to dash roll, she actually can often get that perfect punish and chase down the roll in time. There's a good opportunity, and he picks it up.
Closing the distance.
Absolutely,
and
now
finally
we're
asserting
close.
himself on the ground.
You know, I talk about Williams' adaptation a lot, but Mike here, in the top 4 of the tournament, he's got some of his own. And really the main thing that he's been changing is that he's being a little bit more responsive to what Williams doing rather than executing initially on his own.
Getting to draw William in more has also been helping. Taking that little bit of extra time on the initial spacing.
Yeah, it's interesting. Mike, in my opinion, one of his strongest characteristics is just his discipline in not giving up the neutral state. I don't know what is different about this matchup or this player matchup that's making him give it up so much more often than normal.
Maybe some of that early pressure from William with all the dash attacks made him feel like he sort of needed to take a bit more initiative in how the fight started.
Yeah, there's almost like a misconception in this matchup where people feel they have to respond to a dash with a dash. And it can lead to them engaging in the CD combat where one of them is just giving up neutral unnecessarily. Will could look for an aerial in those situations, but he just tracks him down.
Looks like he was maybe trying to get into a situation where, alright, we've had like 3 separate exchanges where we just dash into dash. Okay, I'm gonna let you dash one more time and backslash it. Unfortunately,
we're gonna see a Vader from Mike here. There it is.
Yep.
Alright.
There it is.
We are heading to City and seeing an Ayla v Vader. Sticking with the top tiers, no surprise.
Victory is ours.
Alright, we have a Vader from Mike. Oh, I just wrote Mike is playing as Mike.
Mike is indeed playing Mike.
He has a character in the game, confirmed.
Playing the Borderlands style introduction, Mike as himself.
Yeah. Alright, oh, I need to give William his lives. I'm sure Mike would not complain.
Just a small advantage.
Indeed. Alright, we are now ready to go.
Mike may have found a banned spot.
I mean, it's not banned. If you go there, your opponent can potentially kill you.
But he's technically outside the barrier, and technically not taking damage.
You can't,
which,
I mean,
per the rules...
Maybe his toe is outside the barrier, or inside the barrier.
I could test that.
That rule is more for the extremes, like if you find a spot across the map and decide to abuse it.
But finding a bug with the map on its debut and in a top 4 match, what a scandal.
I mean, we always have the stalling rules to fall back on. I'm also, you know, big proponent of rules as intended.
I bet you're real fun as a DM.
Wait, isn't that more fun as a DM?
Don't let the newer DMs know that.
Yes. Only rules. Oh, beautiful.
Oh, that's a beautiful catch on the roof.
I've never quite seen actually a punish like that in a long time, like taking the early lead in the matchup. It's not even really a punish, it's just a straight up offensive maneuver.
Floating null? Not something you see happen in... Usually you see when you see it, it's descending.
Yeah, not an ascending one.
Ascending floating null?
Against an Ayla?
Against anyone.
I know, but in particular against the CD character, one would get scared. A little bit of baiting here. Goes for the hit. Ooh, I don't like the roll onto the building. I would have rolled off personally. Will picking up the kill.
Being in a tight space with a Nayla, just in general, is not the comfiest place for a Vader to be.
Oh, for sure. I mean, in this circumstance, we're going to see Will maintaining his neutral quite well. And really, the big thing about this matchup is that at the end of the day, you really want to pretty much only attack when you think that there's going to be an interaction, right? There's this kind of, not quite prisoner's dilemma, but this decision sort of matrix that happens where if there's not an intersection, whoever attacks loses. If there is an intersection and the Ayla attacks, the Ayla wins. Sorry, if both attack, the Ayla wins. And then otherwise, it is whoever chooses to attack wins. So really a true intersection will benefit the Ayla more often than not because she has 2 success states out of the 3.
Very good backslash out of there by Mike. Shame it didn't quite get the full knockdown. William is super low health, although that doesn't usually matter for Vader, who's not usually trading for damage.
I personally...
Vader.
Oh, beautiful.
Ayla likes the beautiful. Did work out for him.
I really think that in the situations where both players like to maintain neutral and there's a lot of this empty pressure, Vader should upregulate that C1 because you will catch people occasionally. Close match so far. Another thing to consider is that I really like backslash just as a neutral option from Ayla here. It feels very risky, but I think because it's often unexpected, Vaders aren't quite ready to punish it.
Always going to lead to interactions like that.
Who do you think damage trades benefit in this matchup?
Damage trades purely without factoring in knockback, I would say Ayla. I think Ayla has a lot more potential to like get good damage trades like from the aerial, even with Vader's increase on health.
That's a good argument. I think that when you consider aerial, yeah, but when you consider a lot of the other trades that might occur, like a Vader attack into a riposte, and they both have mutual knockdowns, the trade in that sense often will benefit the Vader, just because then they're gonna generally lead to kills more. But with
the
aerial,
one thing I have
agree.
about that is if you're going to be trading into a riposte, like say a dash into a riposte, I would think like the Vader tends to tumble a little more, which gives Ayla the chance usually to get back up and get a dash off first, which gives it to Ayla.
Yeah, I guess sometimes. I find oftentimes it is a true neutral sort of tumble, but really no true damage trades happening here, just purely one interactions. Mike's
Ooh,
beautiful.
Mike was very dangerous in the float there, but William not quite able to capitalize on it. He'll capitalize on that one.
Yeah, Mike's looking to punish a lot of the ramps, but unfortunately he's just putting himself into a disadvantaged state whenever he misses. He needs to look for those mid-air dash rolls to try to reset further away, or just start mixing up to more flat ground interactions as well. Because he is losing it on the map right now. Oh, can we talk about that ramp for a second?
Yep,
he
just high enough to dash over the fence.
Slides on this like tiny part of the wall there. I wouldn't have even thought to do that. I probably would have gone for an aerial or something, but shows why Will's here, not me.
Just strong map movement in general is letting him keep getting all these dash attacks in places where Mike feels safe.
Will about to go up 2-0. Would be a very impressive comeback if that were not the case.
I experienced myself. I chose City in my match against him. I think like as an attempt to disrupt the ramping flow. I was very sorely disappointed by how airborne those Ayla dashes were coming at me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, do not sleep on William's ramps on any part of the map. I don't know, if I'm Mike here, I'm really kind of doing my best to mentally reset, not giving any adaptation away. I don't think I'm going to win this fight at this point. You know, just trying to think about next match. Or next game, I should say. So Mike gets his choice of map here, and then also the counter pick. Mike's going to go back to East. William is staying Ayla. Mike hasn't had an answer for it yet. I honestly think maybe going Vader. He's going to go GG. I almost was considering that Mike Vader East may have been significantly different than City. But
I don't know. If he was going GG, I almost would have thought you'd want to go Arena, just to compound GG's advantage, take away some of the ramps from William.
Truthfully, I have never really seen Mike's Grievous much. Actually, that's false. I played a little bit against his Grievous in our 2v2 tournament against Klungo and Mike. And at least in the 2v2, I didn't necessarily find it to the level of what William's playing right now.
It looks like we are on there wrong.
Yeah, we're on Arena. That is normal. I have to cycle through.
Which I just have to say, like as an aside, I have found the format very, 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 very fun.
Awesome. Glad to hear it.
I would look forward to seeing even but possibly other maps.
That is the long-term goal
of, you know, like shapes of the arenas.
Yeah, that's definitely
Perhaps,
the long-term goal.
Like, maybe even like just like the villain side cluster spawn at the top right of Mos Eisley. It's like a very small stage with a bunch of buildings.
Will's ready to start, but he remembered for once that I need to set up. Give the spectators a little bit of an idea what's happening, give the players a very short break. And honestly, Ayla versus Grievous has been a big part of this tournament. Not kind of unexpected, but... Grievous... And the set score is now 2-0 in favor of Williams, so we're going to need a pretty big comeback to have that change. Ayla versus Grievous. Okay, got everything.
Is there anyone short on lives?
Nope.
Excellent.
Not yet, at least. That will change.
My game unfortunately pulled it down.
No worries.
And I'm too terrified of Alt-Tab. And so the races are off, as Mike is content to sit on the bubble and spam on.
I was supposed to say that'll change very soon.
Maybe Mike had a chat bug and didn't see Williams R.
Now, it'll be fun seeing the difference between this and the Strax v Necron match we just watched of the same matchup. My expectation is William's going to be a bit safer and a bit more direct with a lot of his dash attacks. And Mike's going to be a lot more aware of stamina conservation.
Are you seeing a much safer start, letting GG take the initiative on all those dashes?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of just want to... You mostly just want to read, in my opinion, as the Ayla. I have way more experience in this matchup as the Ayla rather than the Grievous, but you want to read when the Grievous is going to really disengage from those dash attacks and then punish him then. Or rather, even if he just stops. So, because every time he dashes, there's a very slight window for you to hit. But the double dashes make it very hard, and if you clash with him, you're inherently in the disadvantage. Most interactions. There are some occasions where the Ayla will come out on top. So by waiting out that Grievous and reading that end of the interaction, you chase him down and kill him. At least that is my strategy.
I think William had the idea on that last engagement with the aerial, but I think at this angle where Mike had CD, not a good choice.
Yeah, those interactions can always be challenging. As either side, frankly, with the CD-heavy play.
As with any CD character in general.
Yeah, agreed. You play a reasonable bit of Grievous, do you not?
I have, actually.
As far as approaching the Ayla dash roll, like heavy playstyle, how do you go about like really reading when and where they're gonna roll? I mean, it is true read, but do you find it reliable to chase the Ayla when they dash roll?
It depends on how low I think they're on stamina. Like, Will's being a bit spend happy with his dash, and I would be more comfortable trying to chase that, because I know by the time you get over there, you're going to have almost nothing left. That's a fairly safe thing, I feel, to chase into, even though GG isn't the fastest character in the world. But if Will's being a lot more safe, and like, alright, I've seen like maybe some dash movement, one dash attack, and like, that's it. It becomes a lot more of a question of what kind of angles do I think you're going to take, because if I'm scared I'm going to be potentially going into CD, that poses a lot of risk. If I think I'm going to be chasing you and have the advantage of CD, I'll feel a little bit safer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. And also, just a thought on that too, you're generally going to be chasing them when you have CD in that interaction, because right, they're going to be dash attacking into CD and rolling straight. So
yeah, the question is, do you think they're going to roll that direction?
Ah, that makes sense.
If they've had the chance to like finish their dash, they may not be necessarily rolling to conserve momentum. They may be rolling to evade.
There we go. That exact interaction we've been talking about.
Yep. A little bit lower on stamina. Mike just follows. Does get the catch.
Zorath agreeing, you can't just run with double dash. Endorsing what you're saying. I missed that interaction, but I will say one thing that I have been liking that William is now employing that I think people have kind of, in many ways, forgotten in this matchup is once you get into the situation where the Ayla is like dash rolling or there's some more neutral interactions, Ayla's going for the double dash is a really good tool, because oftentimes it'll bait the Grievous into where they are then like waiting for the roll or pausing slightly, and then if you hit the double dash quickly, sometimes that aggression can take the Grievous's off guard. And there is one of them into a nice dash roll.
He did manage to get away, though. Barely.
Yeah, I can't really give a lot of insider suggestions from Mike's point of view, but I'm liking William's play so far, despite being down one.
He's being a lot more choosy with when and how he engages, which as the Ayla versus the GG, that's your power, that's your right. You have a lot more freedom to dictate when and where the encounters actually happen, and having the patience to not just giving GG fights on his terms is definitely something that Will is going to want to abuse.
Evening it back up 6-6. Oh wait, sorry, no, that is 5-7. Mike getting that kill. Wait, actually, hang on, pause. I'm no longer certain because I was spectating. It's okay. They'll realize after their fight. This interaction is kind of moot.
Poor William and his watts.
Yeah, no, sorry. So... yeah, I'm sorry. We called pause before that. As far as the score goes, actually, I believe that would have been 6-6 because I was spectating William, and I always spectate whoever has the previous kill. So it means that that score would have been 6-6.
Per rules, it was after a pause.
And that pause was significantly before the kill. Like, that wasn't just like...
Yes, they started engaging, like, they were close, but they hadn't really actually started any engagement until after the pause. And it continued well after the third pause.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure for Grand Finals as well that I have a... I mean, streaming, commentating, and judging all at the same time can be challenging. I will definitely make sure I have somebody else on hand for purely scoring and making sure that I have that right. Yeah, I'm glad that I'm able to catch myself many times because I'm always spectating the person who had just gotten the point.
I usually spectate who I think would give me a better view.
Yeah, the only time I didn't do it is when it was, I want to say Neveryear because his sensitivity was a bit extreme. So now it is 5-4 lives remaining. William mentioned in chat he's getting a little bit of mechanical fatigue in this matchup. He's using double tap W a lot, which I recommend for this matchup because of the quick turns and the desire to double dash. WW is a bit better of a run option, in my opinion, for that.
I don't know, I feel like if your timing is good, block run I still think has a higher ceiling.
Maybe, but specifically for double dash, I think that the WW tends to be the better option.
Like, I used to be really bad about never using block run. Like, I don't know why younger me was just, like, bad at it or just didn't give it any real shot. And so I primarily used WW, like, for the longest time. And, like, the longer I played, like, the more I would just settle into using it.
Yeah, another thing to note here is, like, every Grievous ever will use combo when they're just planning on just maintaining their positioning and regaining stamina. William just immediately attacks whenever he sees it. Just does not care.
He calls it for what it is.
Yeah.
Like, you're fear-mongering.
Old Sun Tzu, look strong when you are weak.
Appear weak when you are strong.
William appearing strong regardless takes this 3-0.
Strong start, strong middle, strong finish. Hard to go wrong.
So now it'll be Mike versus Necrit.